Okay, welcome. First things first, I've already recorded this video, so I'm in a pretty bad mood because I'm here just repeating myself. But it is what it is, my own stupidity and all that. This is my first time trying cocaine. Um, First things first, this is very goblin-esque, I do realise that. So save your comments, or put them down anyway, to help the algorithm and all that bollocks. But yeah, I already know this is B-Tech Goblin. Just think about me as Goblin from Wish, or Goblin from Over the Pond, B-Tech version from eBay. That's me. Yeah, just think about this as like the UK equivalent. So yeah. So, my first time ever trying cocaine. Let me just preface this by saying I was never one of those people that wanted to go in and grow older and try drugs. I'll give you a bit of a background now. I'm 20 years old. I live in a place by Birmingham in the UK, so it's a pretty, if you know anything about it, it's a shithole. I love it here, but yeah, it don't have much going for it. So, but I wasn't one of those people like a lot of my friends growing up that wanted to go straight into doing drugs and drinking and all that shit. Weed, different story. My older brother, massive stoner. So, weed was always one of them that I was a bit curious about. But anything other than that, I genuinely thought I would die if I tried it. Like, I thought that was it. I was like a proper, like, in America you have the DARE project. I was like the DARE kid of the UK. Like, I genuinely thought if I did one line, that's it. I'm selling my ass outside of Tesco. Like, I'm out there slinging my mouth to whoever the highest bidder. Pretty much, like, that was my mindset. And it all changed on one fateful day in high school. So I'm 29, this is going back 5 years. I was 15 when this happened. So this was, oh god, like 2019, I reckon 2018, 2019, around about that. So just before, like a year or two before COVID, I was in a French lesson with my mate Leroy. And Leroy's going to become a pretty significant character in this story. Don't mind me there. I'm just shutting a door, just in case. I have family living in this house, and I don't want them coming down hearing me talking about the first time I put coke up my nose. So let's crack on. Leroy is going to be a very, very significant character in this story. He's bit of background on him. He's an Italian fella, he's of Italian origin. He's an absolute icon. One of my best mates, was probably my first proper friend in high school. First day, year 7, me and Leroy clicked. Me and Leroy, he's the GOAT. Funnily enough, he's studying law in uni now, and obviously Leroy isn't his real name. So, yeah, that's kind of hilarious. But back to me and Leroy in French, and he was looking at me and he was telling me about the weekend just gone by, and he'd gone up to the Baggies. And if you don't know what the Baggies are, if you're familiar with football or soccer, it's West Brom. Their nickname is called the Baggies because they look like a Tesco carrier bag, like their strip, their kit. And he's a Baggies fan. I'm a massive Villa fan, so we would always go at each other's throats over that. And he was telling me about going up the Baggies, and I was like, what happened, mate? What did you get up to? He's telling me about going down on the train, and he just randomly throws in there, one of the older lads brought out a bit of coke, and I had a little bit of go. And I went, what? You what, mate? You did what? Like, he just randomly dropped it in this conversation, well casual. And at this point, I'd smoked. Me and him had smoked together, like weed many a time. Me and him, we loved a spliff together. But I don't expect that to come out of his mouth. It just did not. It took me for 6, let's say that, if that's the saying and all that. So I'm there like, fuck me, mate. Alright then, what happened? What did it feel like? Obviously, it's your first question. You hear someone's done coke, you got to ask them for the first time, what's it feel like? So I said, it's brilliant. It's bloody amazing. It was a rubbish day, it was raining. It was dark and dingy. It was a week game. And I went down there, and apparently it transformed the train into a nice, warm sitting room. And then when they went out the train, it was like the rain was cooling him down, so he was the apple pie and the rain was the ice cream. That was kind of like how he was making it sound. And I remember him saying it, thinking, "Oh my God, my mate's a crackhead." Well, that was my that was my first reaction. And then I don't know what happened within about the space of 5 minutes. He made it sound tempting. Within 10 minutes, it was not tempting. It was more like, "Oh, I want to do this." By the end of that French lesson, I'd gone from never, ever, ever wanting to do any drugs or anything in my life to cocaine sounding like the shit. And that's what I wanted to do. Because he was telling me all the, "Oh, I've done it, I'm fine now, you don't see me, I ain't selling my ass for crack, am I?" And I was like, you ain't, mate. That's a good point. He was smarter than me, do you know what I mean? Better grades, everything. Better skin and that, looked lovely. So I was like, okay. Well, if he's offering, it means I got to get involved and do any of the bullshit. Because there was also the part of it of, there's one doing cocaine, but then there's also getting in touch with a cocaine bloke. And that's a scary experience, especially for a little 15-year-old pisser like me. I was a wetter as a 15-year-old, let me tell you. I was a right pussy. So the idea in that pussy hole's head of phoning a fucking coke dealer, that weren't happening, let me tell you. It just wasn't happening. So the idea of someone else being able to do it for me really, really, strung bells in me. It was like, yeah, this is great. So literally, at the end of this French lesson, we knew that there was a house party coming up at my mate Derek's house, not his real name again. And pretty much, I'm not going to give any other character in this story a name other than Leroy and Derek. And the party happens at Derek's house, and the person that gets the coke is Leroy. They're the only two named characters because of the type of video. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I don't think they're going to be one to be mentioned. One, if this gets any fucking views, which it probably won't, but then magically on some God-given grace it does. I don't want my mates ringing me saying, "You twat, why have you put me in some video?" As I've mentioned, he's studying law. So yeah, but the only two named characters, Leroy is the man, the myth, my mate, and Derek. And Derek is another really good friend of mine. He's I've known Derek a very long time. I've knew him since about year 8, if you know what that means in UK things. So I've known him since I was about 12, if you're not from the UK. Me and him, we've played basketball together for hundreds of hours. He's like my basketballing friend. Very straight edge. Weirdly enough though, I did smoke weed for the first time in my life ever with him. So there's a little law with Derek. Me and him did smoke weed for the first time ever together and got caught by my mum in my bedroom. But yeah, so it's at Derek's house. Derek was having this house party. The only problem with it was Derek would have fucking killed us if he'd known we were bringing anything of that sort through his front door. So we had to kind of keep it on the low. But luckily for me and Leroy, we were the kind of the older looking lads. Luckily we were a bit taller. And even if we weren't the tallest by any fucking stretch of the imagination, but I don't know, I think we were just the most dumb, to be honest. The most dumb and the most confident. So we were able to go into the shops and buy liquor at 15. That was our thing. We had our little shops around the area that we knew we could get served at. So we made a little pact with them. Luckily, they had they could get beer and stuff. A lot of them could convince their parents to buy them a 12-pack, a 24-pack if they're lucky, stuff like that. Just a few beers. So there was a lot of beer and stuff, but there was no spirits. And obviously, a house party at 15, you want the fucking spirits, don't ya? So we'd made a pact with the people that were going to Derek's house, me and Leroy, before we even went, that we would go there, do a whip around, we'd get all the money and go and buy the liquor for everyone. So we already knew that we were going to be able to get some money, because prefacing, me and Leroy were skint. If you don't know what skint means, it means broke as fuck. We were 15-year-old rat bastards. We were so poor. So we didn't have the money to be buying cocaine. That's not in our repertoire. So we needed help. So we employed the help of unwitting civilians that wanted liquor. Poor bastards. But you know, hey ho, it is what it is. We labelled it down to a tax. It was like a cocaine tax of the day for us. They were able to we had to go trekking off to this bloody shop that we were going to get the liquor from anyway. So in our heads, we were also 15, and we were also being drug addicts and wanting coke. So it probably wasn't the nicest thing to do, but you know, hey ho, you live and you learn, don't ya? So we go there, and we get to Derek's on this fateful day, and we've already decided in this French lesson, me and Leroy, that we're going to be doing cocaine. So I'd prepared myself for the first time doing so. The night before, I'm in bed thinking, oh my god, you know, I'm listening to fucking Lil Tracy, I'm listening to Peep, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a motherfucking Beamer boy. I'm gonna be like these lot. It's gonna be great. Couldn't sleep a fucking wink. I was so terrified, but also excited, and just for all the wrong fucking reasons. Let's be honest. But oh well, it is what it is. The day arrives. Meet up with Leroy beforehand. We go walking down to this party. We knock on the door. Derek opens up with his girlfriend and a few other lads. Let us in. We're all there. Ooh, everything's going great. Crack open a beer, you know. Him fucking slowly getting a nice buzz on him, going lovely. Everything's just a lovely day. It's a banger of a day. Sorry for the little cut there. I accidentally said someone's name later on into it, and I that can't be happening. So, it was a beautiful fucking day, which just doesn't happen around here. So we were in a really good mood. We were slowly getting a little bit pissed. It was great. So we whipped round for this money, and we get around £80, which was just perfect for us. That's what we needed that day. That is really what we needed. I think this was the day where I managed to sell a singular spliff for 30 quid. Because we expected a lot more money for the spirits going in, but we forgot to realise that we were also going to a party full of poor high school kids, so we just magically thought there was going to be loads of money, which there wasn't. But that it was a long time ago, it could just be mixed in. Anyway, who fucking cares? We get this money. We go down to the local liquor shop. Luca phones his man, and the funniest part for me is the guy's name. Donny's name was Green and White. Use your imagination why his name was Green and White, and what he sold, what his menu had on it, what sort of delicacies he had for us. So he rocks up to this shop, right, in his Beamer, pops out the window, chucks it Leroy, chucks in the money, and then Leroy holds it up to me and he goes, Leroy's looking gassed, he's like, oh, this looks great. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, you've been sold crack? That's in a rock! What the fuck are you doing? Nah, throw it away, man, throw it away. Because I didn't realise, I was that naive, I didn't realise cocaine came rocked up. So I thought my friend had been sold crack. And he looked at me like I was the biggest dickhead on planet Earth. And just went, nah man, that's how cocaine comes, that's how coke comes. It's like, nah, you're talking shit, bro, you've been scammed, that is crack. And then the way he finally convinced me was, he said, there's no way crack is in yellow. Look at this guy's torch on his phone, and it was as white. It was Caucasian. It was Caucasian white, as white as the royal family, bar Meghan, as white as them lot. So I was like, alright then, it's looking pretty good. And he could also powder it up between his fingers, and then that relieved me. I was like, okay, relieved my symptoms of crackitis. I was like, okay, it ain't crack, that's good. very good. But I was still I was terrified at this point. I was, oh my god, this is real now. It was in his hand. It was in my hand. I was feeling it. Was, oh my god, this is bloody real. Jesus. So we get back to Derek's house, and then we're in a bit of a pickle because we have it, but we have nowhere to really do it because we don't really just want to like. We were both a bit nervous. We didn't want to just like go and do it by ourselves in a fucking corner or something or in the toilet. But we realised that is what we was going to have to do because there was genuinely no rooms we could sneak off to. Every room had a fucker in it. And we checked. We fucking checked. Every room had someone in it. Very annoying. So then we was, oh, fuck this. This is shit. What we're going to do? And then he's like, we couldn't go in the toilet together because then we'd just look so gay because like people already speculated shit at this point in time. And I can't be fucking going in there with my mate pissed up to fuck and they don't know what's happening. It just looked wrong. It just looked so wrong. So it was just, oh fuck, what's going on now? This ain't good. So then we just had to crack it. We just had to be brave. Well, I say we. Leroy was the brave one. Leroy took that shit and he was like, okay, I'm going in. Like a fucking soldier. Like a paramilitary. He jumped out that plane. Like he was in Band of Brothers, jumped out that shit, went straight in the bathroom, came fucking flying out. Ah, Jesus Christ, I said someone's name again, sorry for the random cut back in. I'm not very good at this, if you can tell, but I'm trying my hardest here. So yeah, he went flying out, he took that shit like a man. Out he comes flying out like Maradona. Leroy is of Italian descent. Very Italian looking. Slicked back black hair. Italian as fuck. He came running, and I don't know why that really matters, because this bloke isn't Italian at all. But he looked like Maradona. Picture it like Maradona when he's sprinting up to the camera at like Mach 5, just screaming his head off like a crazy bastard. He looked like that. Or the shark from Nemo. Take your pick. Out he comes, strutting out. Not even strutting, he came fucking flying out. Just like flying. Music instantly switched. We was in like a proper like, again, Caucasian household. It was quite like tame. The music that was on, maybe, do you know what I mean? The most outrageous thing you were going to hear was a bit of Kanye, do you know what I mean? Or maybe Kendrick if you were lucky. Nothing too like out there. Leroy comes in, right, out with the Arctic Monkeys, in with the dubstep and drum and bass. We've got like police in helicopter, psh, 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 the fucking walls are shaking. He was the only person dancing, the only person fucking dancing, and the entire household was just looking at him like he was bonkers. And at that point in time, I thought, I want a bit of this. I want to be on his wavelength. I want to be like him. That's great. So I picked my balls up. I picked them up. I was like, I'm going to do it. I can grab them. In we go. He tells me what to do. He gives me his key. He gives me the bag. I go into this toilet. I fucking lock the door, lock myself in there. And I'm like, it's just me. It's just me and the cocaine and my thoughts. And this key, his key, that had a little Tommy gun keychain on it, which like made me feel like Scarface. Random tangent, sorry. So I was just there and I was just like, oh Christ, what the fuck has my life become to? But I was a 15-year-old kid, I didn't really like think that too far ahead yet. So I was just like, this is class. I was also like naive and dumb and young. I thought, oh, this is great, this is the most cool thing ever. Gotta like about, I can't really tell you like in terms of nail length because my pinky nails are different lengths at like they're like crackhead level at the minute, but like I've got like a normal like cleanly hygienic person that's got like clip nails, but half of one of them worth on this little key, and up it goes. And I'm not gonna lie, not much happened that time. Not much happened. I put it up, and all the feeling that happened, I remember going in, and it went up. I was in my left nostril, and I was that immature. Didn't know what I was doing. I didn't close one of my nostrils, so I had to suck so hard, like this, and then finally it went up, and then I did close my other one and give it a proper like sniffle up, and it initially hit me. I was one of them weird kids that used to snort sherbet. and I just suspected it was going to be like that. My God, I was wrong. By God, I was wrong. It was like if you've never done coke, it was probably like try and use your imagination right now, and you've probably smelt all these things, and then try and merge them together into a smell, but put that smell directly up your nose, and it feels like if you ever done like a front flip in the swimming pool, and it starts burning your nose to like really bad. Like you do a front flip in the swimming pool, and then like it goes up your nose, or then the water goes, or you jump in the pool and the water goes up your nose in some fucked way, and it starts burning. So it's like that on steroids, but you can also taste and smell it at the same time as it hurting, and it smells of like a combination of like batteries when they go weird, bleach, paracetamol, and a little bit of like the feeling of lemon juice going into your eyeball. So it's all those combinations all happening at once, and so that's what it's like going up. And then, but I'm not gonna lie, not much actually happened to me. I was more just, I didn't go crazy like my mate Leroy. I wasn't dancing around the room like a spider on fucking speed. It chilled me down. I was very scared. I was very nervous. I was very anxious, and it calmed my anxiety a lot. I remember just coming out of the bathroom and being able to go and sit down and talking to one of my friends. I was just talking to them for talking their ear off, obviously. Coke just going like a fucking jackhammer. But I didn't feel crazy or like uplifted or anything like that, really. It was very a mellowy feeling. Until later that night. Later that night when we had to leave, it was getting really late, like 3, 4, it was dark, we'd been walking around in the fucking cold at this point for a very long time. Me and my other two mates, well, me and Leroy had walked one of our mates home that lived a complete different direction to us because we were sniffed up. We thought it'd be a great idea just to go for a walk, as you do. The only problem with that was that the person that we were walking home couldn't know that we were on coke because they were one of my best friends ever. I don't talk to this person anymore, but we were family. I used to go to his house every day before and after school. They were of Greek origin, so like his nan I would speak to in Greek, very, very broken Greek, but that's kind of goes to show the level that me and this person were at. So he couldn't know that I was on coke at all, because he'd be so disappointed, and he knows my family, he knows my mum, it just couldn't be known. But because I was on cocaine, I wasn't fucking thinking clearly. So me and Leo thought it was a great idea, we'll just go with him and walk home. Brilliant. And two other of our mates came with us. So there was 5 of us, and we walked away from Derek's house. Nothing really happened with the cocaine at Derek's house, like for me. With Leroy it did. Leroy was off his rocker. He was bouncing. But this is my first time trying cocaine, and so nothing really happened to me in this house, other than finding Leroy fucking hilarious, as he always is. And on the walk over to this person's house, we'll give this person a name because we're not at the house very long, but we're going into that person's house, so we may, instead of saying this person, we'll call them, what's a good name? Let me, Bernard. Alright, so we went to Bernard's house, and Bernard's my mate, the really close one, the one I went to with family stuff, that guy. So we end up in his house, He invites us in, and then we're not going to be rude and say no. So we go in, and now we have a bit of privacy, me and Leroy. We have a little bit of privacy, a little bit more privacy, because there's only like 5, 6 of us in this house now instead of a whole house party load. So me and Leroy are able to sneak upstairs. Luckily, Bernard had 2 bathrooms, one on the bottom, one upstairs. So we were able to sneak off to the upstairs bathroom together. And he had like the perfect bathroom to be doing coke in. It had all ledges everywhere. It was perfect. So this time that was my first line. That was my first proper line. Was in this bathroom, and it was fucking boiling in there because the boiler's normally in the bathroom, isn't it? But for some reason this boiler was kicking out the most heat I've ever felt. It was like, must have been close to exploding. So I was fucking sweating my tits off in this bathroom. But it didn't matter because we had lines ready. We got chopped up on Leroy's phone. He went first, I went second. £5 note, up the beak it goes. Beautiful. And this is when it was proper. That's when it all changed. It went from making me like relaxed and a calm person to I came out of that toilet like feeling like Superman. I came out, I was like on top of the fucking world. I was flying. So I went running down the stairs and I remember in Bernard's house, like the stairs were like really noisy, like no them stairs, like proper wooden stairs, like when you hit them it goes proper glunk. So I remember just going down these stairs, like, glunk, 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 like really fast, like, sounded like a horse, went flying down. I went right into Bernard and I went, you've got to play me on 2K, and we got 2K on, and I was that confident in myself that I was going to win this game of 2K that I didn't even take one jump shot. Off in my head, every single time I went up, my character was gonna dunk. Like all of them, even Steph. Like I was playing as the Warriors. And I genuinely had convinced myself that Steph was gonna be able to fucking posterize like. I think he played as the Jazz, so I'm pretty sure. Like I was trying to dunk on Rudy Gobert with fucking Steph. That's what cocaine does to you. So it wasn't good. I got absolutely swept the floor with. I went in saying I was going to absolutely destroy him. He's never gonna have felt 2K destroying like it. And I lost by 106 to about 50 from memory. It was an absolute blowout. And then after that, it was about 6 in the morning, and everyone else was knackered. Leroy included, somehow. Leroy was still tired, and I don't know how. So everyone decided that it was time to go to bed. So instead of going home, everyone just decided they were going to stay at fucking Bernard's house. And I was there like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this. This is terrible, I'm on coke, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I can't tell them, I was paranoid and overthinking, and then I was in my own head thinking, oh my god, if I leave, they're going to know I'm on coke. For some reason. Like an idiot. So then I just have to like pretend that I'm game for sleeping. So I just fucking the lights go off and I'm just lying there, just like just going round and round and round and round, and it was the look. And I lay there from about 6 in the morning to about 7:30 when the sun came up. So that hour and a half was the longest because the coke started to wear off obviously about halfway through that time. A little bit before that, and I'm there like jittering, and it was just, I felt disgusting, I felt horrible. And then everyone seems to wake up and I start feeling so hungover because I'd been drinking like a fucking champion all the way through this night. We were E&J boys at this point in time because we were too poor for Hennessy. So we were just there being wannabe fucking rappers, just necking the E&J, Jaeger on deck. It was disgraceful. So we come through. We don't come through at all. We wake up. They wake up. I arose from consciousness, because I didn't really fall asleep, but I wasn't like fully awake either. I'd like gone into kind of a hibernation trance state. So I like shook myself out of that, went and threw up, and then came like down the stairs and was like, "Fuck me, Leroy, I've got to go home. I feel like shit. This is terrible." And he looked at me and went, "Bro, I feel the same. It's time to go." So me and Leroy, we got wave goodbye to the boys, fuck off out the front door. Halfway up the road, we look at each other and go, "I think we need another bump for this walk." Got the key out, had a little bump, and that bump, oh, that was the best one of the night. That was the best one of that night. Because the sun was just coming up, the birds were singing, and I just remember it felt like, I don't know, I remember walking home was just like, I don't know, it was a very strange, surreal experience where I felt very disappointed in myself, but also very weird. Very also kind of like, in a strange way, cool. Because I was walking home, I was sniffed to fuck, all the birds would look like they were looking at me, and they were my friends and shit. And I just get home and I just didn't sleep at all. And that's pretty much it, really. There's not much more that happens in the night. Like, really, that was about it, to be fair. There wasn't much more that happened after that. It was just a very long night of feeling very ill, with a banging headache, like someone had, like my head was trying to crack open, and like my brain was trying to pry itself open like an alien chest popper. I felt like my brain was an alien chest popper was trying to come out my skull. That's practically how my brain felt. I just lay there and just got no sleep at all. Until I was that exhausted, I didn't. Until I was that exhausted, I did manage to fall asleep probably like 4, 5, 6 hours later. Woke up probably like fucking, I had like the longest sleep of all time, and just woke up. And re-evaluated my life really from that, but within like about, the French lesson was maybe 3-4 days before this, so I changed from having never doing it ever, to having a complete whole cocaine bender of a night, and not even just doing it, but like it was a very long night. And there's a second story to come out of this, of a little bit of coke that was left that we found in an RE lesson. So that'll be whenever I can be asked, if I can be asked, I'll make that as like a little part 2 to this, and it'll be like cocaine in high school, or doing cocaine in school. And the same bag from this day, my mate Leroy found this. This happened on the Saturday. Me and him slept that Sunday completely away, so it felt like Monday was the next day after Saturday, because we'd been up to fuck knows what anyway as well. So we went into school, and he found it. He wore the same coat that he wore to the party, unknowingly brought it with him. And yeah, use your imagination to what happened with that. So yeah, that's to come if this does alright or anything. If anyone's watched this, I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave it there. Actually, to sign off, I'll do like a little outro bonk it. That'll be like the outro that I'll do. I hope you enjoyed. Have a very, very good day. And yeah, God bless. Mwah. Hopefully see you next time. Thank you for watching.